So I had a deep revelation this morning around the father wound, around the approval of the Father. I was in the shower where all amazing ideas, insights, revelations come, right, in the shower. I'd make that a hotspot in my home maybe. So I'm in the middle of this inner child workshop. And, there's 200 plus people. There's a lot of stuff coming up. People are really shifting and moving. And of course, as a facilitator with my beloved Christine, it's so inspiring and so impactful, and it's also deeply thought-provoking. So I started thinking about the deeper layers of work that I've done around my own father wound, because I definitely have one. I spent so much of my life seeking approval, seeking validation, wanting to learn more from him, wanting him to love me for who I was, wanting him to approve me, to give me that recognition, to say well done, to love me, to hold me, to hug me, to not be so violent, to not be so aggressive, to not be so unpredictable and volatile and angry all the time. I've done a lot of deep work around this. I remember, it must have been 10, 11 years ago. I remember being in a 4-day immersive workshop, and that particular workshop, I'd done a lot of focus on the father wound, and I came out of that workshop and I rang him and I said, I love you, I care for you, I just thank you for being the best father you knew how to be. And he met that. He said, hey, why don't you, he heard it, but he didn't really hear it. Why don't you come over for dinner? I'll make some dinner. And I thought that was nice. And I said, look, I also want to talk to you about some other things. And I mentioned to him about his violence and his volatility, unpredictability, and he was in complete denial. What are you talking about? I was a great father. And in that moment, I knew that I'd done a deep chunk of healing, because it didn't upset me, it didn't trigger me. However, this morning, I wasn't triggered, I was sad. Because I thought about something. I looked around at the shower that I was in, and I'm very blessed to be in an amazing shower, amazing bath that I have. I've created so much wealth in my life, emotional wealth, relationship wealth, spiritual wealth, material wealth. Like, I'm very, very grateful for where I am in the world and what I've created for myself. And he'll never see that. For two reasons. One, because we live in separate places and he's unwell and he can't travel. But that's not the main reason. Main reason is I started thinking about that, and he'd never be able to share that. And I thought, wow, like, I've made it in so many ways, but I'm never going to actually have his approval. Because even if he were to come here to my home and understand what I'm creating in the world and how I've changed as a person over all these years, he would minimize that. Not so much because of his own ego, but because of his own pain. He hasn't dealt with his pain. He hasn't shifted his own suffering, his own abuse. And he'll never fully embrace and hold what I've created. And so I started thinking about that deeper, that I spent, and not without regret, just feeling into. I spent so much of my life, 80, 90% of my life, seeking this approval and validation, seeking all of this for it to never actually be enough, because I'm seeking for it outside of myself. And that was a turning point in my mind this morning, in my heart opened, and I was able to be deeper appreciative of who I was and the amazing people in my life, but also who he has been in my life. And not to feel sorry for him or carry sympathy, but rather to have compassion for his journey and his path. It's taken me a long time to be able to get to this place. But we seek that approval, and we seek external validation and success, and any time that we maybe fail, we take it so personally. We think we're not enough. We don't connect to ourselves. We don't value who we are and what we have endured. And we put ourselves through so much turmoil to seek this bottomless pit approval. And we're more than that. And I'm here to tell you that you're more than that. Seeking approval and validation outside of ourselves is fruitless. Tap into that little boy or girl within you. Ask them what they need. Show them who you are as the adult version of self that can take care of them and hold them. and be so grateful for your accomplishments and your embodiment and who you are in the world. This is deep healing. This is penetrative, deep, deep healing of the self and of one's soul. I love you. I'm sending you blessings wherever you are. We are so connected, more than many of us even know. Power and blessings. I'll see you soon.